today's video, we will provide our curious and knowledge-seeking viewers with a straightforward exploration of the mysteries surrounding the Nile, the Sphinx, and the ancient civilizations of Egypt. Do you believe there could have existed a highly advanced civilization in 20,000 BC? What other aspects of our past do you think warrant a closer look or re-evaluation? Watch this video, as it might completely change your views on this topic and how we perceive the timelines of our past civilizations. In today's video, we are diving into a conversation between Joe Rogan and Graham Hannock, uncovering the secrets of ancient Egypt. We will walk you through the discussion, making it easy to understand by breaking down any scientific or technical terms that come up. Joe Rogan began the discussion with Graham Hannock by inquiring how far back Graham Hannock believed the history of the Nile and ancient Egypt extended. Graham Hannock shared his perspective, stating that he believed the Nile had an extensive history. According to him, the Nile River system had resembled the same form as it had 12,500 years ago. He pointed out that Africa faced comparatively less impact from sea level rise than other continents, highlighting the Sunda Shelf around Indonesia and Malaysia as termed by the geologists. Hannock explained that ancient maps depicted this region during the Ice Age, showcasing a submerged continent-sized landmass. He elaborated on the influence of sea level rise by noting that the impact depends on the depth and speed of continental shelves. A continental shelf is a portion of a continent that is submerged under an area of relatively shallow water, known as a shelf sea. In contrast to regions with shallow and limited shelves, slow and gradual shelves result in a substantial loss of land. Africa, with its limited and deep shelves, experienced less loss. Hannock emphasized that 12,500 years ago, the Nile River system closely resembled its contemporary state. The significant distinction was the Sahara Desert, which was then green and fertile. Joe Rogan mentioned that this aligns with Dr. Robert Schoch's firm claim that when examining the temple and the Sphinx, one is confronted with evidence of thousands of years of water erosion. Water erosion is the removal of the top layer of land by water from irrigation, rainfall, snowmelt, or runoff. In this case, it was most likely years of heavy rainfall, as well as intended and unintended water release in ancient Egypt civilization, accompanied with wind erosion. Graham Hannock affirmed Joe Rogan's statement, expressing agreement by saying, "Yes, yes." Joe Rogan added that the most recent occurrence of water resembling that in the Nile Valley happened during the Younger Dryas. Graham Hannock explained that the Younger Dryas marked a period of intense rainfall in Africa, and the enigma surrounding the Great Sphinx lies in the precipitation-induced weathering caused by heavy rains. He clarified that it's not a flood that affected the Sphinx, but rather about 1,000 years of substantial rainfall, precisely during the Younger Dryas. Dr. Robert Schoch's evidence, according to Hannock, supports the idea that the Sphinx's weathering is a result of exposure to extreme rainfall during that period. This challenges the conventional belief held by Egyptologists that the Sphinx is only 4,500 years old. Hannock acknowledged the presence of ancient Egyptians around 2500 BC, but proposed that they encountered an already existing and heavily eroded Sphinx. He believed they subsequently recarved its head into a pharaoh's head. The disproportion between the head and body, as pointed out by Schoch and others, makes sense if it was initially a heavily eroded lion head, later modified into the head of a pharaoh. The geological evidence, in Hannock's view, supports the notion that the original Sphinx is over 12,000 years old. He credited John Anthony West as the first to raise questions about the Sphinx's age, challenging Egyptologists' assertions. Despite initial dismissal, the discovery of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey dating back about 11,600 years shook the narrative that there were no megalithic monuments of similar age. Hannock emphasized that Göbekli Tepe's existence significantly strengthened Robert Schoch's argument regarding the Sphinx's age. Hannock expressed admiration for Schoch's courage in challenging mainstream views despite facing criticism from colleagues. He commended Schoch for sticking to the data and asserting that the Sphinx is more than 12,000 years old, underscoring the significance of Göbekli Tepe in supporting Schoch's argument. Continuing the discussion, Joe Rogan requested Jamie to retrieve images related to the water erosion evidence surrounding the Temple of the Sphinx. He expressed the compelling nature of the evidence, emphasizing its fascination even for individuals with limited knowledge about erosion. Rogan highlighted the significance of Dr. Robert Schoch's descriptions and understanding of the different stone levels. According to Rogan, Schoch's insights into the varying hardness of the stones explain the uneven erosion, making the examination of the evidence particularly interesting. Hannock pointed out that the most distinct evidence of precipitation-induced weathering can be observed in the trench encircling the Sphinx. He emphasized the presence of deep vertical fissures, describing them as classic manifestations of weathering caused by rainfall pouring over the edge. For context, a fissure is a long, narrow crack opening along the surface of Earth. Hannock clarified that such weathering is not as prominent on the Sphinx's body due to repeated restoration efforts. Some of the blocks, he noted, were added during the Old Kingdom, a period when the Sphinx is conventionally believed to have been newly constructed. Hannock questioned the rationale behind restoring a structure just 4,500 years ago if it had been recently built, urging the application of logic and the need to break free from the academic mainstream's dogma. Joe Rogan inquired about the potential age of the civilization if water erosion began thousands of years earlier than what conventional Egyptologists typically date. He sought Hannock's opinion on how old the civilization might be, asking for a speculative time frame. Hannock, with an air of fascination, postulated that the mysterious ancient civilization might extend its roots far beyond what conventional archaeologists typically propose. His speculative estimate pushed the timeline back a staggering 200,000 years, or possibly more. This bold conjecture, shrouded in the enigmatic depths of history, challenged the prevailing notion that our entire planet was inhabited solely by hunter-gatherers during the peak of the last ice age. Drawing a captivating parallel to the present, Hannock painted a vivid picture of our contemporary world, where our so-called advanced civilization harmoniously coexists with isolated hunter-gatherer societies, such as those living deep within the Amazon rainforest and the vast Namibian desert. So there is a possibility that there might have existed an advanced civilization in the past, coexisting with majority hunter-gatherers of that time. This thought-provoking analogy served as a launchpad for Hannock's proposition that the ancient world might have been a tapestry woven with diverse civilizations, each unique in its own right. In his vision of the past, this ancient civilization, distinct from our modern understanding, boasted technological power sufficient for Earth exploration, intricate mapping, and a profound understanding of advanced astronomy. Hannock passionately detailed their grasp of celestial phenomena like the precession of the equinoxes and the obliquity of the ecliptic, challenging the conventional narrative of primitive societies during that epoch. The narrative took an intriguing turn as Hannock referenced the pivotal book Hamlet's Mill, written by Giorgio de Santayana and Hertha von Ditchend in the 1960s. This literary gem dived into ancient myths and traditions worldwide, revealing a treasure trove of advanced astronomical knowledge. The revelations within the book sparked a relentless curiosity about the untold stories embedded in the archives of human history. Hannock wondered why mainstream archaeology hesitates to consider different viewpoints. He admired the courage needed to question accepted ideas and believed that exploring alternative perspectives makes our understanding of the past more interesting. According to Hannock, the ancient world as he sees it is like a detailed puzzle waiting to be revealed. It provides an exciting peek into the many remarkable possibilities that could have influenced the development of human civilization. Have you ever visited or heard about any ancient monuments with mysterious histories in your country? If so, share your experiences or knowledge in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, then make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing content. Thanks for staying with us until the end. Until next time, take care.